Belgrade Security Forum is a prime meeting place for all those who are interested in today's most pressing security issues. It is also a place where one can exchange ideas and concepts of what contemporary security is all about. But it is also a foreign policy forum. It is not only hard security related. We discuss many issues that lie at the nexus between security and development.
Globalization worked for some, left many, many people, countries, even continents, out of the loop. And the times we are living now are in fact the reaction to all these challenges, including very much the challenges that are not so much felt today, but will be the challenge of tomorrow. We are living in the times of uncertainty in many different fields, and in the same time, we are very responsible for the outcomes of the times we are living in.
Our initial idea was to bring the Balkans and its debates closer to Europe, and then again to bring Europe closer to Balkans. This year, in particular, we are going to introduce some new topics. We're going to follow what are the contemporary developments with the European Union, post-Brexit, of course, and in anticipation of the Rome summit and what it will bring. We will, of course, ask the question of how can Balkans relate to Europe, especially now with many question marks being around the enlargement, so-called enlargement perspective for the Western Balkan Six.
Well, for the EU, as we know it strategically, it's important to spread the space of security and stability, to introduce peace into this region, which has been so far in the last couple of decades a success story. It's also very important to spread to strengthen the democracies in this part of the European continent, especially to spread and uphold European values. It is quite important that for the European Union to discuss the future of the European Union as organization and the future of the continent. It's not possible to do this without the inclusion of this part of the region. Making success in the region would also strengthen European Union as a global, very important and credible player, which is not to be neglected.
On the one hand, I'm deeply convinced that the European Union is the absolutely best project ever envisaged as far as a peace project and a political project, but in the same time it has many deficiencies, and it is very slow in facing the deficiencies, in facing the different approaches that are absolutely needed. So this is a huge experiment, and I dare to say that at least part of the future of the humankind depends on this experiment. I believe that the common future should be and has to be the topic that every single European has to discuss. So we can have a common future if we turn or return to participative democracy, if we help people to understand what is at stake, and if make them to take their own future in their own hands.
The stalemate in EU accession process of the region erodes the trust of the citizens of the region into EU model. More importantly, it decreases the EU leverage at its doorstep. It weakens its power, both the normative and real power in this region, and opens the space for other powers to become alternative models. So stalemate of the process lets our leaders to seek alternative models or to play with the fire and with the conflicts in the region as a way to attract public support instead of doing a more painful technical reforms that are required in the EU accession process.
For the Balkans and the Balkan countries and societies, in the first place, it is very important to continue the European integration process and to succeed in this respect, to achieve full-fledged membership, not only because of the security and peace, which is something that European integration and framework provides for, but also to enable a better democratic and environment for the citizens of this part of the region in terms of the rule of law and all of the values that we want to see implemented. And this is something that will prevent the negative trends we see so far of decreasing enthusiasm and support for the European integration.
Belgrade Security Forum was designed as a venue of dialogue. But in the same time, we were very much hoping from the very beginning that we will manage to include our entire region in a worldwide debate and in the same time help the world, and especially Europe, to understand what is really going on in the Balkans.
Cooperation and exchanges are the ways to build trust, to get to know each other, so to enjoy more in each other's company. And this is what within exchanges during the 3 days of Belgrade Security Forum we want to achieve, to tackle difficult questions in an open manner, to exchange, so to be able to actually provide solutions and to speak with one voice.
And it's very important not to miss opportunities. Balkans cannot afford anymore to miss any kind of opportunity to catch up with the rest of the continent and the rest of the Europe, especially EU. And EU cannot miss the opportunity to deal with internal affairs and problems and crises alone without really delivering towards its commitment to the Western Balkans.
The lack of EU perspective is unimaginable, but it's becoming more and more on a public agenda in the region. And this is why we have decided that this year's Belgrade Security Forum actually asked this question, asked the think tankers of the region to try to think the unthinkable, and that is that there is no perspective for the Balkan states in the EU.
We have actually tried to create a proper security community by including young academics, including young practitioners of security policies, researchers of security policies. And what we are trying to achieve actually is to help them engage decision makers, engage policy planners who are already present at the Belgrade Security Forum.
Belgrade Security Forum is there to clear up certain misunderstandings, to make us much more reflective about ourselves and the world, and in the same time to send a very clear message that this region is important. And this region is not only a mess, this region is not only a problem, this region has a potential to be a partner in building the common future in the times of uncertainty.
The Belgrade Security Forum is the most important security conference from Istanbul to Vienna. It is an all-encompassing program that will cater to many different audiences.